Before we get into this morning's live, I want to go over a quick overview, and please bear with me. I've been a little under the weather the last couple days. I just have been trying to muscle through it. But from the drainage and stuff, my throat's a little, I don't have a sore. Well, I guess it's a little inflamed, but it's not anything serious. Typically when you drain and things like that. So if my voice sounds a little off or a little raspy, just you're gonna have to deal with it probably for the next couple of days. But um, I wanted to do this live. Um, Crazy Paul, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over, what is that now, 3 months with the XRP Meteor. Richard and Jennifer, thank you both for being in Tom's Army for your first month. I appreciate it. Shane, good morning. XRP Nut, not many thoughts on it right now, to be honest, but we can go deeper into that in a little bit. Mr. Lou, welcome in. UK Phil, good morning, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over a year with the I Told You So badge. New fun, good Sunday morning. Mo, good evening, or good morning, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over a year now. Wow, that's incredible. Jeremy, good morning, and thank you for hitting that like button. Yes, everybody, please do likewise like Jeremy. I appreciate it. D, good morning. G Stoa, Jorge, welcome in. Thanks for being a very trusted mod and a member of Tom's Army. Appreciate that, friend. Kelly, good morning. Tahi, welcome in. Jessica, good morning, love, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 3 years with the XRP Diamond Hands badge. I love that. Love that. Shane says I got 1.8 million last night. XRP net. I'll take a look. We'll take a look a little bit. Art, good morning. Bought that dip. Excellent. Metal, morning, and I'll be fishing with my dad, with your dad today. That's what I'm talking about. Wow, that's awesome. That is awesome. I haven't fished with my dad in so long. Definitely good times. Ferry, welcome in. AZ Marine or Arizona Marine, welcome in. And I appreciate you, one, your service. I'm assuming you were a Marine. And two, because I've seen you in here many times, and I think you validated that for us. But thanks for being in Tom's Army as well for a very, very long time, over 2 years now. That's incredible. Incredible support. Jeffrey, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for your first month. Khan, Set Apart Spirit, Fairy, and David, welcome in. Appreciate that. All right, so let's get into some of the analysis, just in case my voice does tap out here at some point during this hour. Frank, good morning. Amanda, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for your second month. Joseph Kupiak, the 2 Kupiaks are in now. Thank you for being in Tom's Army for your first month as well. I appreciate it. Almost time to pull everything out now. That's getting that impression from a lot of people. Getting that impression by a lot of people. So yesterday, I came out a little strong, and we talked about this drop that was coming, and it wasn't that we wanted it to happen. It was just the way the market shaked out. I warned everybody if we dropped down below this $2.92, which we had to come down to after we got this rejection, that it would be a slippery slope, and we could find ourselves all the way down at 261. Right now, the good news, if you want to try to find any, is that technically you could say, and I know you got to start to be a little sneaky here, but in a 4-hour time frame, you had what I consider right here an exhaustion wick, at least initially. Now, a lot of times in the exhaustion wick, you'll come down and you'll retest the next candle, and then sometimes that is the stopping measure. If not, then you come back down to the pattern formation, which would be at 262. But I tried to front run everybody in the fact that prior to this weekend, the last 7 Sundays, on Sunday, before the ETFs opened, we had crashed the crypto market. And then on Monday, by some miracle, it would raise back up when the ETFs came online. This makes number 8 now. So it appears every Sunday, we're starting to have this exact same scenario play out. The pattern isn't anywhere near where our ending pattern would be, but I've been very transparent the last several weeks, begging my audience to take profits. Just begging my audience. And I've even told where I've taken profits, even out of XRP, in my strategy that I use by buying more crypto than I intend on having per token, per different asset I hold. And I've warned about these scenarios, and people got mad at me the last couple of weeks, but I can only be honest. Yesterday, I was being very straight shooter, telling everybody, get ready for the drop. It's going to happen. There's nothing we can really do about it unless we were to break out above 306 in that short time, which we didn't think it would happen because the patterns were telling us opposite. And we didn't think this uptrend was going to hold because this was just a theory that, hey, maybe we started some kind of uptrend, but that didn't hold. So now what you're looking at is you're looking for confirmation of a drop down to 262. If you get a rejection at 292, you're looking at a 30-cent drop. Actually, more than that. It's about 33 cents. But, you know, it's, the patterns haven't broken down yet. We've talked about last week as well, middle, about the possibility of a hangman pattern developing, and that's when we came up here, and we based it on the rejection right here that now it's going to round, and we've seen this in 2021. If it was going to end up being the ending point, and we talked about, is it possible that because of all of this stuff that's playing out, that we were topping, and I know it pissed a lot of people off when we talked about the fact that we could be rounding a top, and what we would have to do to validate that. But when you start to have the meme tokens start pumping, that's not a sign of utility. That's a sign of either a cycle end, like a cycle top. Oftentimes the meme tokens run unopposed. And then once they start dumping out, the money does not go back into utility. It ends up finding its way out of the market out of fear. See, that's one thing you got to remember. If somebody has a solid bag of utility and they're running fearless, and then they switch into a meme and lose 35%, do you think they're going back into their initial meme token or their initial utility token, or do you think they're cashing out? You're right, they're cashing out because they're afraid. Because if they knew what they were doing, they wouldn't be taking out of utility to buy a cheap meme. And just what I'm talking about, for two examples, the GOAT token, which I will continue to show everybody how easy you can lose it all. I'm just being honest. The GOAT token's at 16 cents now. The GOAT token, which I'm starting to look at, it's getting in this descending wedge, but it's also in a much wider falling channel if you look at it. At some point, it's going to be a bargain. Now, unless this is meant to go to zero right off the bat, which sometimes they do, over here, everybody was saying to sell the XRP. All the influence, it was just a big mess. It went up to initially up to $1.35, and you know the FOMO was real. And now it started to come back down. It's down way farther than when it even hit the market for us in retail. And now everybody who bought this is down at least by half. I'm not trying to be a dick, but that's just the way it goes. So now between the GOAT token, when everybody would have sold out of XRP because they thought, hey, you know, this is a meme on our... but that money now can't find its way back into the market. It's been lost. The Trump token, I warned as well. Everybody sold out of their good tokens to buy the meme trash. And most people are buying up here. They're not buying down here. If you bought down before the pump up, congratulations. But most people are buying the pump, selling out of utility, and now they're watching this down at 22 bucks. You know, that's cut down from 75, 80 bucks. Then you went into another, and we can go outside of just these, but then you go to another token where they told you to buy, and then all your money comes out of the memes, or comes out of utility in the memes. And I said that's a sure sign that the market's topping. When you have meme tokens taking over, money doesn't just die and go to money heaven. The money that's sold out of utility has to find its hands somewhere. So if the meme tokens are costing people their holdings, now you can't switch back into utility. That's the problem. That was my problem with all of this. Meme tokens indicate a massive top. So now you're down 85% in that garbage token. You know, it's just, this is too much. And then we see a lot of people have switched out and they went to XCN. And it's going to end up being that same tragedy. I've already drawn this pattern out for everybody. All you have to do is watch from the very beginning. Unless we have some kind of miracle here and this doesn't deep dive, every single person in my audience who bought this after the rally is about to get bitch slapped here. The initial breakout when you should buy. We talked about the initial breakout. You buy the consolidation. We had an early breakout, which means we had no back test, which means with the fair value gaps and the way they work, there's a very real chance we come all the way back down. So I think this is the point of the market. They want you out of utility. They get you in these Johnny-come-lately tokens that people get all excited about, that have no clue what they are. Everybody in my audience in the beginning was telling me XCN is JP Morgan. And I said, I don't think it is. And then I said, okay, fine, I'll say it's JP Morgan because everybody in the audience is saying it, but I am not seeing the evidence. Now all of a sudden everybody's saying they're not seeing the evidence of it being JP Morgan, but that was how they pushed it. So what the hell is really going on? Is that a money dump? Like, that's what I said from the beginning. It's not JP Morgan, but my audience convinced me that it was over a period of time. But that's one I don't hear about anymore the last couple of days. You know, I heard about it when it was pumping, but as I said with most of them, it's only because it's the flavor of the day. Nobody really cares about the tokens. Like, I only talk about what I care about, so, and I'll go over it like I did with XCN just now to show you what can happen, but that ninja guy was telling people to sell their XRP and buy Swift. Indeed, but, you know, everybody's entitled to their own opinion. Like, I'm not seeing that. When I look it up, I see XCN as a different token now. Like, they switched it. Maybe it was once, the name of it might have been compatible to JP Morgan, but I'm not seeing that anymore. But I think there's a lot of misinformation being fed in the comments and stuff. I just don't see it. What was it? The Swift? Because I just want to go over all these tokens that everybody keeps bringing up. We talked about it yesterday. What was it? Swift. Yes, chain. That's it. That's what it was called back then. I can't remember what the Swift one was. What was it? SWFT, I think. FTC, that's what it was. Yeah, we marked this out yesterday that it could break out to that about 6 cents if this plays the rest of this pattern. And it looks like it's starting to. But we'll see, we'll see. Looks like a little bull flag there, but anyhow. You know, some people are just trying to give advice in the comments, but obviously you have to have your own education. You can't just be like, oh, somebody said something, I'm going to take this verbatim. Just do your homework. There's nothing on my board that's looking real hot right now. Nothing at all. Everything is just one of those things. The market absolutely punched us in the face, and this was the fear of the last couple of days. You know, I got a little animated yesterday by being, you know, more... If I'm more stern, you should be worried. When I come in and I say, hey, we're about to drop, and we got rejected, and I wasn't emotional yesterday, but I was very, let's just say, very transparent in the fact I thought it was going down. Not saying the market was done, but I was very transparent in the fact that it looked like that was going to happen. Why is SWFT a gem? You know, I don't know. Flavor of the month, flavor of the week. You find out. But like I said, Swift is not as far behind as everybody talks. You know, it at one time was, but when they went to the Swift GPI, the new chip, and then they partnered with a few different ecosystems that actually have utility. You know, they're not going to really go anywhere. It's just some things are going to be, man, oh man. No, anti-communist, I don't blame you. So I kept telling everybody to, so I already told everybody to, if you were going to sell, we were up 7 to 10x on everything we own for the most part. You take at least 1 or 2x out, and then you build your own portfolio back up. All I did within my 12 or 15 assets that I had is I overbuy everything, as you know. Everything. There's not a single thing I own that I own as many as I thought I was going to. I overbuy it for a reason. Every single thing I own, I took at least 1 or 2x out. But at my initial buy, they were up 7, 8, 9, 10x. So taking 1x out or 2x out wasn't a big deal, but it added up to like $50,000 or $60,000. But still being able to maintain myself in the market, not because I want to, but because I can see, just like I'm not saying this is over. We're not saying the market died yet. because we haven't finished the technical targets. But what I am saying is I'm seeing the same evidence prior to this drop, that we could possibly be starting a hangman reversal, the hanging man candle. And if that's the case, we've seen this in 21, and I was all over it, to the point that I sold out. So I tried to explain this many times in 2021. And for anybody who's not part of the audience, I didn't sell at $1.98. I watched it come all the way back down to, what was it, 93 friggin' cents. And then it came all the way back up to here at $1.74. It got, or $1.77. When it got rejected, I said, oh, shit. That's it. And then I could see that it was turning into that topping candle. And I sold at $1.66 right here and proclaimed XRP's going to 50. Well, I said that back here, that it would eventually get to 52 and then lower. And I said right here it was going to 52 cents when I sold. And that was the best call I ever made. It went to actually 52 cents on the button. It went to 52 cents on the button. And then I said, when it came back up, I would never buy XRP until it went sub 40 cents. I said I'd buy other things for the return rally, but I didn't want to be invested in it until it was the right time. Had to wait until all the way over here because I waited for the uptrend to hit. We actually bought at 28 cents, sold at 44, and rebought at 34. And that's at 34 when I said we're going to do the challenge 3,400 to 34,000. We hit that. It's crazy. We actually hit our challenge. So now my whole argument with the audience is we 10x'd. How much higher can you possibly expect it to go? Unless we're in a super cycle, we're going to have to watch that rounding of the top somewhere. Well, we haven't had that catastrophic drop yet. Yes, we came down from $2.92 back down to $1.80. And then we went up to $3.40, and that was our 10x right there. We literally 10x when it went up here. And for anybody who says otherwise, I mean, you can do a lot of things. The only thing is, the big problem, like I said yesterday, when those tariffs started, I said you're going to get a domino effect. Well, the domino effect started before I could even come back on today. Now we've got Canada saying they're going to make tariffs to the USA. You've got Mexico saying they're going to emit tariffs to the USA. You've got China starting rumors that they're going to admit tariffs to the USA. If you think tariffs on China for the products we export to them is going to outweigh the tariffs on the products that they send, we don't export shit. We don't make anything in the USA. You want to start playing the big dick game here about tariffs, we're not going to win this game. We simply don't make shit. We don't. We're too lazy in the USA, and we gave it all away. We don't have any shops that we used to. We don't have any manufacturing like we used to. CRC, no, we don't. If 90-something% of our stuff is being imported, we have junk that nobody else needs. As far as stuff to export, what are we exporting? I'm just being serious. We do make markets drop. If we actually made something, we wouldn't print so much money. That's all you need to know. You work at a natural gas processing plant, so you should know firsthand how we don't do shit. We're actually trying to get rid of our natural gas for what? For what? Oh, that's right. That's right. Bullshit. Solar panels. All this, well, solar panels are fine as far as a solar powered, but not like all these windmills and garbage like that. We do make snowflakes. I agree with that. With that being said, on the praise of the snowflakes, good morning. 9:29 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Sunday, February 2nd, 2025. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of You work at Amazon. Again. But you work at Amazon. That's my point. Where do you think those products from Amazon are coming? They're not coming mostly from America. But, we, Bro, you're talking about crude oil. What are we trying to go away from? Think about it. Dude, you're talking about all things that are nonsense right now. If you're really going to go to U.S. manufacturing, if you're going to go into car deliveries, I live in the friggin' Michigan. I've seen what happened with Michigan and automotive. They've taken it all to Mexico and Canada, and we have little shops here in Michigan now where you literally assemble the last parts of these stupid things, but 95% are coming from other countries. So you might want to check again with the automotive. I have family that's been in automotive since I was a kid. My brother's in the automotive field. My dad. Hey, I said it in the beginning, Sean. What did I say about with those memes and everything that started? It started off on the wrong foot. So, I mean, it's amazing that we can actually have this debate. You really think we're an importer nation? I mean, an exporter nation? You really think we're exporting in this country? People really think that? Wow. I didn't know people actually thought we were exporters still. No wonder this country's screwed. Just stop because I'm wrong. I mean, so be it. So if you think I'm wrong... Oh, man, no wonder we're so far behind. Have you looked into China and Japan lately, where our products are coming from? Have you looked into Southeast Asia? Have you looked into Canada and Mexico? Have you actually looked into where our shit's from? I can't pick up one thing from my desk that's from the USA. My North Face isn't from USA. My tablet isn't from the USA. My table, my TV, my furniture, my clothes, none of it. All we do is export inflation to the rest of the government, or the rest of the world. That's it. Sure, we have minute things that we export, but most of the stuff we export, remember, we actually build the materials in the USA, but we get all the parts from China and Asia and all these other places. What do you mean, Mr. Lou? That's exactly what we did in the USA. There's no difference. You had Trudeau, we've had Biden and all these other losers. It's the central banks. Trudeau didn't do anything more than the Canadian citizens allowed him, just like in the USA. Our government hasn't done anything more than we allowed him to do. We've signed off on it because we want free stuff. The Canadians are no better. No offense to my Canadian friends, but you are all no better than we are. Everybody in this country wants good stuff for free. That's right. IQ 25% there on the super chat. Only up 5x since he took office. Actually, no. I've lost a couple x since he took office. I'm not sure what you're smoking. Since Trump took office, my portfolio's down on everything, universally. We are talking about XRP. We're just having a conversation. See, this all fits in the technicals. Yeah, I mean, thank you, Matthew. That's the good thing. At least now we'll be able to export oil. That is a good thing. I always try to figure out where humanity's at, and I don't like where humanity's at. We're so far behind, it's crazy. Like, we just don't understand. You understand, if we were an exporter, we wouldn't be printing money the way we are. We're the world's largest debtor. We're a debtor. We're a nation of debt. We have the largest creation of debt in the world. We have more debt in the USA than probably every other country combined. We export food. You sure about that, Steven? I mean, we do export some things, but are you really sure that the world would starve without us? Or are you not looking at your shelves lately? I don't know. More tariffs and still taxing the people. Trump is going to... Of course he is. At $5 donation. Thank you, Joseph. I'm actually considering not pulling out of crypto yet, But there's going to be layering to this if we break down. Like, we're getting close to that call moment here. We're not there yet because we haven't finished this pattern. And Bitcoin, like I said yesterday, I've already targeted this. I'm not afraid of what happened today. We were looking at that 96,000 area. And hopefully we don't have to come all the way down there. But Bitcoin's done a very bullish cup and handle. Unless it pulls down and creates the topping reversal, which happens, you know. I always get amazed that people get so mad about me for speaking the truth about our country. You guys are telling me to please sell. Oh, man. Yeah, it always gets more interesting by the day, I'll tell you. I feel like he wants to crash it. Oh, NAFTA, guys, we don't export shit. We do house 25% of prisoners, though, with a 4% worth. Thank you, Rick. My God. Someone with half a brain. But like I said, every Monday when the ETFs come back on, they seem to scoop this up cheaper. They seem to do this on the backs of retail. And we're just trying to stay in line here, folks. I don't give a rat's ass if you like Trump, hate Trump, you want to bang Trump, you want to sell Trump. I don't care. I like Trump. I don't like our economy. And I've been saying this for 4 freaking years. So if you're mad at me now because Trump's in office and you think I'm bagging on him, you don't even know me in that regard then. I've talked nothing but good about Trump my whole life. Because I said he taught me the tax code, he taught me real estate, and so much more in business. But what I can't respect is when he's creating meme tokens that are clearly meant to crash this market and manipulate utility. Look at all this money that's going to be created here at $2. And I said this yesterday, we're fucked. Because all of a sudden at $2.30 now we got 440 billion. At 216 we got 300 billion. So like, I don't understand. Would you guys rather me speak the truth? Or would you rather me suck nuts? Because I'd rather tell you the truth so you can see what's going on in the market. No offense. Your profile is 3x since November 5th. Yeah, that's called the pump and dump. That would have happened no matter what. I'm being honest with you. That pump was happening regardless in crypto when the election happened. For one reason or another, it was pumping during the election. And then when Trump got elected, you're right, if Harris won, I'd be fucking rich right now. You have no idea. I don't think a lot of people know what they're talking about. If Harris was elected, I would be stinking rich right now. Because my commodities would have flew out the... If Harris was elected, gold would probably be like 3,500 right now. It was set up for a huge move if she was elected. Commodities, my friend, Michael, commodities. Commodities. There's always a devil's advocate side of the trade. Would you rather have real money pushing it, or would you rather have crypto pushing your portfolio? Me personally, I'd like real money. I didn't say gold would be the only thing to pump. Commodities. Do you know what commodities are? But this is part of my tactical analysis. When I do an analysis, this is all the factors I run through in my own head. Sure, I only show you guys the charts most of the time because people get so mad when I talk the truth. People think I'm hating on Trump. I don't understand, like, how many times do I have to say I love Trump? Just because you love somebody doesn't mean you have to be in love with policy. And I know it's not even him. I like Trump outside of politics because he doesn't make the rules in politics. It can be a good show, but right now all they're doing is pushing us into war. I'm telling you right now, we're going to have a big war here under Trump. And I know the last time the claim was we had no war. But remember, he's promised to strike ISIS now. What do you think happens when that happens if he sends that bomb? With all of these tariffs, what do you think happens? What do you think happens with the tariffs from Canada to the U.S.? Or the ones from Mexico? People need money is the point. So if you guys hear me out, how this plays into crypto, when people need money to pay rent, buy groceries, pay for food, take care of their kids, yada, 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 so on and so forth, pay their house note, the money comes out. The money comes out of somewhere. Lag, I'm not unfamiliar with that, but I'm pushing the narrative. Oh, I've been stocking up on food and supplies for some time. Putting tariff on the stuff coming from China and not what's being sold to China. Come on, guys, pay attention and smarten the fuck up. Seriously. Of course Trump's not going to make a tariff on the exports from the U.S. That's China's job to put the export on us. Shit, my throat hurts and I gotta yell like this. Jesus Christ, are we... We're screwed, Julie. We're absolutely screwed in this country. Not just this country, the whole freaking world. People are literally so damn mind manipulated. It's disgusting now. It's become a point where there's no turning back for citizens. Ah, it's fine. I'm not fired up. I'm realizing now that we are screwed. And that we probably should be selling out. If this is the reaction I'm getting from the audience, this is how I base my decisions. How smart is the audience and what do we think is going to happen? The fact that most people don't even know what's going on in the real economy is scary as fuck. It's 2025. Turn your freaking TVs off. Okay? Get away from Google. If you can't trust your own sources, if you can't search through the... Like, people are so indoctrinated. I'm scared. I'm actually scared for humanity. Crypto Fear and Greed Index is suggesting it's down to 60 now, which is back in neutral. But yeah, when it comes to tariffs, remember, he ain't going to say there's tariffs going outbound, right? But what did Canada just come out and say yesterday? We're tariffing stuff that we export to the USA 25%. What did Mexico say? 25% of our tariffs to the USA or our products to the USA were tariffing 25%. That's all I mean. Learn astrology, figure it out, or be clueless. No, so many people think astrology predicts it all, which it plays into it, but I'm just going to tell you the truth. That gematria, it does play into it, but if you can't read a chart, you might as well just take the gematria and shove it up your ass. And the astrology, because it does play, but what happens every time it doesn't? It's crazy. It's crazy. Intentional inflation, I don't disagree with that, but the problem is what we've been talking about. We're in hyperinflation right now, and the longer it takes for us to admit it, it's all big playing. Oh, we're going to get on we'll be talking soon, anti-communist, I promise. I seen your messages, I responded to you. All of a sudden now, the last couple of days, I've been draining and stuff. My throat's a little sore today, so I shouldn't even be talking as much, but I had a lot of stuff to talk about. But it's just... He sure did. This is the thing. Where do you guys think this ends? Do you really think we're going to have a Bitcoin strategic reserve when Bitcoin's the worst of crypto technology? The literal worst of all of it. If I had to guess, I would say we're going to create a strategic reserve probably based around some of these utility tokens, and Bitcoin be damned. I mean, right now we have to see what the bottom is for XRP. All signs probably point to the fact we're going to try to retest that breakdown, although we already have once, but from a more substantial drop from 273 and see if we can get back above 292. We also talked about the fact that we could put in a sneaky inverse pattern here with the drop down, which we got. But if it breaks down any farther, you're looking at $2.59. If that breaks down, then all of a sudden... you start looking at the breakdown target down at $2.09. You got a monthly FVG that's down at $1.82 still. So, if Bitcoin's going to be a strategic reserve, we're already screwed. We would already be screwed. Hey, this is just this is the contrarian view. This is me talking facts and seeing what my audience knows. I'm trying to get the contrarian view out of all of you. Trump says it's written in relax. I didn't even know I was animated. The ones who are telling me to relax, I mean, you haven't been part of this audience very long. If you think this isn't relaxed, I'm a full-blooded Italian with Lebanese. So, some of you might not fit in this audience if you think that this is me getting animated. You've seen nothing yet. The people that are watching your channel are people who are trying to understand them. I understand that, Christopher. That's why I have to be blunt. I can't let people think some of the stuff being said in the audience is true. Sometimes when the comments come in and they're so far away from reality, I have to be animated. But, you know, that's okay. The only thing that I try to do is I try to make people money. I'm not trying to lose it all. But there's one thing that is still bothering me about Ethereum. The fact that, one, it broke down out of this, and we've had, excuse me, short-term target down could be as low as 2,774. But the one thing that's bothering me is Ethereum is still showing signs of it could be in the midway point of a rising wedge. And if that's the case, yes, it could be an inverse head and shoulders as I circled. Short-term inverse head and shoulders, which we would like to see play out at 2,774 at worst. But if this is some kind of rising wedge, at least we're on top of it. And if it breaks down, it breaks down. But Bitcoin in a much longer, Ethereum in a much wider pattern, though, you can say that. Man, I don't know. Some people are saying this is in a descending triangle. I must be on the wrong side of town because I am not seeing that with Ethereum. When I look at it in the longer scale, it only makes it look more like a rising wedge to me. So I've been having this fight with myself saying, are they trying to top the market secretly, as we've talked about, or is it still going to go up? It looks like it's got a lot of room to go up still. So I'm saying, like, it still looks like we're fine. Yeah, we got a little bit of a reversal candle there. XL, we talked about the possibility to go to 37 cents and still be fine. So we've still not fallen outside of these levels that we talked about. XLM came right down to where we talked. Even Bitcoin's fine. Like, if you're looking at this from the realistic standpoint, Bitcoin's still very much fine. You're on the outside of a symmetrical triangle that would bring you up to 114,000. But yeah, the markets are absolutely manipulated, but that's absolutely. What will this do to the price of silver? The problem is right now is so many people are going to need money here starting on Monday again. And then going to, what is it? From the time of the tariff signing, it's going to take about 30 to 37 days is what I'm reading for it to go full tilt on the USA. So if we're doing that, the problem with the tariffs are if there's and this is something that my audience is not discussing. Why do you guys think it's even a good idea to put tariffs on other countries? Don't you realize we only used to do tariffs so our own citizens wouldn't have to pay taxes as high? But we continue to raise rates and now there's tariffs. So now what we have to do is we have to understand that with tariffs, now everything's going to be 25% more. And we're still paying the same tax rate. Just like I said when it came to the Trump token, Trump owned 80% of that token himself. So if you think retail was getting rich off it, you're smoking something. You see what they're saying, Julie? My constructive feedback is I'm letting the audience get to me too much.
No, you're just trying.
Can I be constructive with the audience? You guys are overcritical of me saying that I care so much about what the audience says. No, I'm telling you what's going on. I couldn't give a rat's ass what the constructive, like that the audience is not making me like this. What's making me like this is in general, citizens, humanity. That's what gets me like this. All these comments, if it was about your comments, I'd be mad about crypto. No, I'm mad that everybody's not seeing the bigger picture. This is the same thing in 21 when I got pissed at the audience for not seeing a market top and getting mad at me And then I would get mad at the audience. I do it a little different now. I'm just telling you the truth. If you get mad at me, if you think I'm one way, that's fine. I'm trying to keep you ahead. Oh, I would be a great radio host. I have a radio voice. I do. Why is Trump here to bring us into the digital era? Because if Biden or Harris was here, the U.S. citizens wouldn't accept the fact that we're going to go digital. And that crypto is being pushed as a store of value and that we're talking about selling our reserves. That's why. I said it before he was elected. They're going to elect Trump so that we can do the digital sphere. They're going to push that wall over our eyes. And because people like Trump, that's how they're going to get us from cash to digital. Even though everybody forgets, 8 years ago, Trump hated crypto. He was the biggest component to get rid of crypto. So you want me to believe that he had a sudden shift of heart? No, I don't believe that. I believe he's seen an opportunity. So that's it. Yeah, anti-communist, you better not have me on your show. I might have to take over. I know the score. I know the score. Like some have said in the audience, I know the truth. I haven't been able to turn a 4-figure portfolio into over 6 in front of your very eyes because I don't understand. It's a little deeper than not understanding. And yeah, it takes time. It takes time. And that's my crypto portfolio. I got other portfolios that I've built up. My precious metals portfolio, I started at 3,500. It's at 21,000 right now. With commodities. I'm not talking about precious metals on hand that I own. I'm talking about my stocks. Because I don't trade the traditional stock market except for commodities. You know, there's different things that are going on. No. Hold on. Rafe. Can I give you guys an all very important lesson in life? Republican, Democrats, stop. Stop. If we wasted as much time understanding economics as we do fighting with each other about being blue and red, we'd be so much better off. You guys see you're fighting with each other about whether you're blue. Who gives a rat's ass if you're blue or red? That's what pisses me off. Stop with the politic bullshit. When I speak politics, I'm telling you what's actually going on. I'm not speaking about red or blue. If we can't even get past whether we're red or blue yet, we're so stinking screwed. Like, how are we in 25 and you guys are still fighting about, I'd rather be a Republican than Democrat. I'd rather be a Democrat than... How about would rather be informed? Forget the freaking politics, man. That's why I fail to talk about it so much. Because so many people get like this. I'd rather support the red than those bastards in the blue, and I'll support them until we die. And like, who cares? So if the same stuff was happening by the Democrats because you like the Republicans, it's fine. Because it's a Republican. If the same thing the Republicans are doing happened by a Democrat, it's fine. I'm going to go get my phone and thank that $100 donation because simply sometimes I just don't understand how they've got such a hold of our balls in politics. It makes no sense. And then you're going to get, this will be the best. After this live, I'm going to get, Tom, you need to stop talking less politics. Apparently, I need to talk more. The fact that anybody thinks outside the central banks that we are actually doing something. Central banks. Remember when Trump came out a few months ago and said, I'm going to have the Fed, I'm going to have them cutting rates. Last week, he came out and said, I can't do anything about rates. I don't control it. Duh! That's the central banks. The Fed doesn't even control it. Holy crap, Rick. Thank you so much, not just for being in Tom's Army for your first month, but also the $100 donation. My voice is definitely going to pay for this live. Because like I said, my throat's a little sore this morning from all the draining. I just haven't said anything the last couple days. But it's definitely going to be an interesting day. But to finish this live real quick, just so everybody knows what's going on, let's get away from all the nonsense because that's what ends up happening. Politics take over and then nobody cares about the truth. So you guys can have your political back and forth in the comments. I'm not partaking in it. If you don't care about what I'm saying, that's one thing. We even drew this bear flag out for the audience too, which is how we thought we could get down there. But oh yeah, I don't think the market's done yet. I just think we have to be informed. That's all. I don't have these out here for no reason. I don't have targets out here for no reason, but at the same time, you know, I would like my audience to be more informed on a level of, hey, your life isn't going to be run by the politicians anymore. Like, you guys are literally, you guys think I'm being emotional. My audience is literally, most of you are controlled by the government and don't even know it. That's called indoctrination. That's called mind manipulation. You guys are manipulated into thinking politics matter. It doesn't. The only thing that matters is what's happening within the politics, not the actual political people. It's the actual things that are being signed. That's the central banks. But because they knew, happens every time. Remember what happened when Trump was in the first 4 years? All the Democrats came out and said, the hell with that bastard. We're going to vote for anybody. We don't care about qualifications. This time, we don't care about policies. We're voting Trump because there's no way we can let Harris be in. Like, that's what I mean. They get your emotion. Like, how about this? If we're making tariffs, there's no more taxes. That's it. You want to go to tariffs, there's no more taxes. You can't have both, but they will. Everybody's like, they can't have both, but they will. I want fear in this market because then I know it's going up. There's more fear today, which I'm happy. I'm happier today than I was yesterday. What price should you sell XRP? Well, I am not a financial advisor. And I can't tell you that. All I can tell you is if we lose this formation at $2.58 roughly, that gives us an initial target down to 209. So that's a $5,000 drop on 10,000 tokens. But to be honest with you, you could start looking if you got a rejection at 292 and it starts to come back down, and then you could look for a one of two options. It's going to have about a 15% drop if we get that rejection. But again, with the ETFs, it's hard to say. It's hard to say because when this kind of stuff happens on the weekend, I'm always optimistic about Monday. So I'm staying pat. I'm staying pat the way I am. I'm not afraid of the market. It's just we're going into a lot of things.
Okay, I'll start in a minute.
Oh. We're going into an interesting time here. That is what I'm emotional about, money making. But I'm gonna have to shut this off in a minute. My throat is bothering me, and I know if I stay on too long, I'm gonna lose my voice.
Ooh. Are we looking on?
Thank you for the $10 donation, trading with J Ride. B2 Gold. I mean, it's not horrible. It's got the bottom end potential, which we tapped, which is a crazy because we talked about this for a while. And we got the rejection up here that we could come all the way down to the bottom of this descending consolidation. And yeah, I mean, it still looks fine. Those descending triangles or descending wedge, I don't know what you want to call it. Descending triangle wedge. But these are very bullish at the bottom or on the breakout point. The problem is here is technically this is adjusting. If this played all the way through, we could be doing this dance for a long time. You know, if it breaks down, that would be devastating. If this pattern breaks down, you'd be looking at a pattern reset. Ooh. The good news is we're right on that support where we came down. Like, if you're looking for a stationary support structure, I mean, we're basically came right down to it. So if you break that, that's bad. Because then you might have to cut, man. And the assault that's being on all markets, you never know. Millionaires don't use astrology, billionaires do. Well, if that's the case, why aren't there more billionaires in my audience if it's all about the astrology? Have you guys ever asked yourself a question like that? If it's so easy with astrology and gematria, why are you guys not billionaires yourself or millionaires? You guys have been telling me it for 4 years. I'm just asking. Everybody who keeps telling me about it, nobody's making any more money than they did before. All these influencers are no richer than they were before. In fact, I'd argue most of them are poor. I believe in 3 things. 1, my own potential. Nope. Start over. 1, God and our Lord and Savior, because he gives me the potential to believe in myself. He gives me the gifts of foresight and to understanding. So I give it all away to my higher power. That's the truth. So God knows best. I try to be humble and I show humility in all phases. And that's it. That's it. So don't forget to give thanks to our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Don't forget to remain humble and show humility, but also don't be afraid to be factual. Don't be afraid to go against the grain, because you need one person in the line of sand that's not afraid to speak the truth no matter what. And unfortunately or fortunately for you, that's me, because I really don't give a rat's ass about what everybody says. I don't. I care about what people feel about me, if they're telling the truth or not. That's one thing, but that goes with integrity. You don't want somebody to slander your name or your work. But I respect my audience enough to tell them the truth, and I respect all of you enough to want you all to go to the promised land with me. Not because of you, I go to the promised land. See, there's the difference. I don't want to go to the promised land because of you. I want to go to the promised land with you. Tom, you are too funny but true. I know. But I don't often talk like this, but today I'm a little under the weather, so it's all coming out today. But there's nothing that can make me a little bit more disdain than people that think politics are ruining everything. Like, don't get under that mindset. Don't, like I said before, the only Trump derangement syndrome TDS that I believe in is touchdowns. TDS to me is touchdowns. The same touchdowns that won us a national championship this year, and the same lack of touchdowns that allowed Ohio State to win the national championship this year, because even though we beat them. Touchdowns. You either have enough or you don't. TA is absolutely secondary to Jesus. But didn't I hear about the new moon for how long with the hold on. Didn't we just pass some kind of astrological event that should have pumped the market instead of diving it? Because I read for 2 weeks that we were about to pump the end of January, you know, or at least the week before the. So I'm trying to figure out what's going on. If all this gematria and stuff works, why are we going down at this exact point? New moon. That's what I'm waiting for. That's what I was waiting for. I was waiting for that comment. February 12th, new moon, snow moon. Have to start my seeds then. Let's see. So, one last time, because I know we've gone back and forth, up and down, left and right. But presumably for XRP today, it's one of two things. One, we can try to make a push up to 292. But the fact we're below the 200 day, if we can't stay above 282, that's useless to even look at that. If we get rejected at $2.82, which at least preliminary we might be, your next drop would be down to about $2.60. So basically, from yesterday's warning of when it dropped, actually the rejection point at 319 or 315, then at 311, basically, if it goes down here, if you have 10,000 tokens, that's a $5,000 drop. The Lord certainly doesn't want you poor, but you have to have a basic understanding of economics. Most people that come in here and tell me they understand economics, they don't even understand that our prices are going up because of what? If one person says it, I'll be happy. Why is our money, why is the cost of living going up? Why is everything going up? It's one simple answer. I'm done asking. Thank you for all you do, Tom. Thank you so much. I'm trying to change my kids' financial. Wait a minute. What did you ask? What did I miss? Shit. I'm sorry. I missed it. It's not even inflation. Inflation is just a reaction to what we're doing. Inflation is, how about this? Inflation is all nonsense to keep you unaware of what's going on. Yes, that's it. That's it. We are expanding the money supply. That is it. You expand the money supply, prices go up. You decrease, you contract the money supply, prices go down. Forget your tariffs, forget your taxes, forget all the bullshit. The bottom line is we're printing money. No tariffs help. No taxes are going to help. It doesn't matter. We have too much debt. So as long as we're expanding the money supply, as long as you see them printing money, it's going to cost you more. If Trump says we're not printing any more money and we're contracting our money supply by 50%, prices are going to go down. No, absolutely not, hombre. That is no, false. The money supply is 0% expanding because the population is going up. False. The only way that can be true is if we're actually doing something. And because we're the largest nation or debtor nation, and we don't make anything, we don't export much. We're literally, do you guys realize we pay do you guys know how much we pay every minute in interest? Honestly. Oh, XP market. That's what it was. What the hell is XP? I'm sorry, my brain is not working. It is, but it isn't. But that's all you guys need to know. Forget all the nonsense. If you just want to get away from the lingo, just understand what's the truth. That's it. If you see us printing money, you know things are getting more expensive. That's all you need to know. Ooh, I have heard some people talking about this. This is something that actually just became available. Yeah, I'll take a deeper look into this for sure. XRPnet is redefining the industry standard for financial transactions. Will facilitate the conversion of consumer crypto payments made to businesses into their preferred conventional currency. We will do so through our card and mobile application, allowing businesses to continue using their existing processing systems, making the crypto to fiat payment process seamless. We'll get into this more. We'll go over this much more. I'm going to do some due diligence here. This is a good thing. And then remember, through the expansion of money with the inflation, guys, you got to remember, when you're in debt, you don't lower rates, period. Are any of you understanding of economics? If you had $10 million in debt, if you had $1,000 in debt, one, are you going to be borrowing more money if you're already maxed out? No. That's a luxury of the government because they are the buyers and sellers of last resort. Two, if you were trying to make your money back on a loan, or if you had a loan from somebody, are the people who give you the loan, are they going to lower the interest rates? Are they going to continue to raise them until that debt's paid off? You're right. They should be raising it because that's what they would do to you or I until our debt's paid off. And then the interest rates will keep going up by penalties. That's the way the U.S. system works, unless it's the government. The government owes trillions upon trillions, over 30 trillion, but by some miracle, rates are being lowered. It doesn't even make sense. So, that's what's going on in the USA. So we'll talk more about this. I'm going to go give my voice a rest. It's just, it's going to be an interesting start. Normally, I would say Monday we would have a big push up. But the problem is with all these tariffs, we could have a compounding effect on Monday with commodities and things. So we got to see where money flows. We'll know quickly on Monday or tonight. If the commodities market open and you see commodities rising, money's finding yield in commodities or gold and silver. If that happens, if money finds yield into commodities, it very well could find its way out of risk assets, which is crypto, which is the stock market. But we'll see. We'll see. I reserve the right to see because if it plays out that way, we very well could fall down to that 259 and then worse. Yes, have a blessed time at church, Shane. I would be going right now, but I'm going to stay home because I don't want to get anybody sick at my church. Plus, I usually walk and it's pretty cold and I'm not feeling all that well. No, and that's our treasury bonds nobody wants. They're actually being returned at an alarming rate. Government bonds and things like that. But yeah, hopefully this informs some of you. Anti-communist, I'll get back to you as soon as my voice gets back to me. I promise I actually want to get this done in the short term. I know I sent you a message yesterday, but and strut regali, what does it mean? I don't know. My first day on YouTube, when I had this channel, because I used to watch YouTube videos, and I don't know, I created this actual account in like 2017 or something. But when I started my YouTube in 21, I had to put an email, and I didn't want it to be my normal email. So on the spot, somehow I came up with strutregali@gmail.com. I still don't know what it means. I do need my chauffeur. But Christopher, I know you were asking a lot of questions before. I don't think it's over yet. You got to be careful when you're buying at these levels, though. Like with H-bar, if you're buying it here and you were in this audience, why weren't you buying with us at 4 cents? Because these very well could. Remember how I always say, take the elevator up, take the stairs down. Now, the good news here is we're still on the backside. It looks like it's going to trace the lower level, which is fine. It just means that the outer wicks aren't in play, which means now you have to start to reevaluate. Okay, well, maybe we come from here, but we just have to see. It already broke down below there, which means now it's got eyes for a back test. See, we never back tested the breakout, and very often, almost all the time, you have to come retest the breakout. But now we've actually created ourselves a resistance on the way back up. Let's say it does break bullish. It's a little lesson from me to you. Say we created this. Now you've got to have a resistance point on the top. So now you've got another area where you'd have to break above. But right now we're back testing a breakout. It's just if this creates a bear flag, we're going to fall through the bottom of this, and then we're going to be in some trouble. So that's why I've been telling everybody, I can't advise you to buy at any of these ranges, no matter what. Everybody keeps asking me about all this stuff. Yes, you can pile in, but unfortunately, buying now compared to buying it in the beginning is a big difference. Yeah, we've got that FVG that was partially... I wasn't convinced that it was completely filled, but it tapped it. I was very honest about the fact I would have rather it came down around that 260 or 258 level. But we'll see. Right now, it's not looking great. It's still Sunday. This is the day they attack the market. But we'll see tonight. I'll catch up with everybody. Have a blessed day. I'm going to try to take care of myself. And until later, please don't let your emotions dictate your response. Get outside of the political realm to where you can talk politics without being political. What I mean is something's happening that is affecting our financial markets. Don't worry about who's in office because they don't even make the rules. Worry about what the Fed and the central banks overall are doing. Take away the puppets and take away the real or give you the real players. That's all you need to do. Yeah, that's why I told everybody, please, if you're buying these ranges and your stuff is 10x'd, you got to ask yourself, are you buying because of FOMO or are you buying because you wanted it? I think most of the people are buying FOMO. So, and yeah, the macro is great. I talk to macro and micro, but I like doing the micro analysis every single day because it keeps us in line. And then the macro still looks fine, but the micro can break away the macro formation. That's what you got to remember. The macro is only as good as the